Well, 4 years ago, a pocket knife was released that immediately grabbed my attention and I wanted so badly. And now I finally have been able to get my hands on the Benchmade BAILOUT 537 GY-1 with the M4 blade steel and 6061-T6 aluminum handle scales. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another blade review. I'm Aaron, this is Gideon's Tactical, and we're gonna dive right in. I've had a few months of use with this blade. Was it worth the anticipation? Was it worth the wait to finally score one and now have it in rotation, or is it like, because a lot has happened in 4 years. We have tons of crossbar locks now out on the market. Some, like this one right here, even have magna cut. And with so much variety of gear and equipment these days, it's sometimes hard to make a wise choice on what's gonna provide the most value, but also give you good performance. And that's why I'm so thankful for today's sponsor, which is LA Police Gear. With over 20 years of experience giving us access to some of the best gear and equipment, like footwear from Salomon and Merrell, gear from Vertex and 511, tools from Benchmade, Leatherman, and Spyderco, illumination from Streamlight and Surefire, as well as their own established brand of LA Police Gear equipment and apparel, giving us the best of both worlds with value and performance. And so regardless if you're gearing up for a day at the range, an outdoor adventure, or just need some new EDC equipment to update your system, I invite you to go check out all that LA Police Gear has to offer. I'll have a link in the description box below, as well as my exclusive promo code for 10% off your purchase that works site-wide. So I invite you to go check out all that LA Police Gear has to offer. So I want to address the two versions that are available right away, because I was actually able to handle them both simultaneously, and I went with this version, the more premium with the M4 steel and the aluminum handle scales, over the lightweight, cheaper version and 3V steel. Now 3V steel is still a great steel, and I was leaning more in that direction just for pure value's sake, to still get the same profile and same kind of design features. But when I got my hands on it, it just wasn't for me. It felt too light, and this has just a little bit extra weight to it and just a little bit extra of toughness in the feeling of the blade because of the aluminum handle scales, and it just made more sense for me in the style of the blade, and so I immediately went with this version. So if you like ultralight and you own a bug out and you don't mind that feeling, then maybe the 3V version is the right way to go. But if you like just a little bit more density to your handle and a little bit more weight to your blade overall, this would definitely be the way to go on top of the M4 steel. This is still ultra lightweight, coming in at 2.7 ounces for a large pocket knife, meaning 3.4-inch blade, so it's not like this little compact Lilliputian blade. I have full purchase and real estate in the hand, which is excellent. So just wanted to highlight that. If you're kind of on the fence between the two, I hope that that better, at least in feel and form, makes sense to you. Then obviously there's a difference in the blade performance. Now we'll begin things off with this razor thin 0.09 thick blade. At, as I said, 3.4, so just under that 3.5-inch mark. Cutting edge is like 3.3 because that little resharpening ricotta, which is excellent. Now, at that thin a blade, you may be a little concerned, okay, how is it gonna perform? With the CPM process is Rockwell 62 to 64, meaning that it's a high-speed tool steel, very high in carbon and very high in vanadium, which means that it's extremely tough, excellent wear resistance, but it's gonna be impacted by corrosion because of that carbon. So if you are in extremely high humid environments, you are gonna see a little bit of a patina showing up on the edge itself. That is why these blades are coated. The coating is extra slick, smooth. It's not gonna hinder the performance at all. But that's just something to kind of be aware of, is that it is a high carbon steel, same as on some level with the 3V. M4 steel is scary sharp from the factory and maintains that scary sharpness for a very long period of time, and then it wasn't too difficult for me to get an edge on it. I was expecting it to be kind of a bear. I think it's because of that carbon in it. Carbon steel tends to be easier to resharpen, get those carbides to align properly and interlace easier when you are resharpening, and therefore makes it just like abnormally performing, which is excellent. I'm so happy with it. And guys, if you like this type of content, I invite you to hit that like button and to subscribe. Become part of the Gideon's Tactical family. Make sure to hit that bell icon so that you can be notified every week when I put up new videos, giving you in-depth breakdowns of new gear, as well as concepts on how you can better stay equipped and prepared for whatever life throws your way. The grind being slightly thicker on the tip so that it'll be able to handle that harder piercing and stabbing for longer periods of time. Still very easy to penetrate, but because it drops, what ends up happening, tip is almost in line with the Benchmade Griptilian, which has a serious drop, like a drop point. So it has a tanto transition with two separate edges and an abrupt point at the bottom, but the tip is more in line like a drop point. So it has this very unique capability, unlike many other tantos that are going to have a much higher transition point, and then they're great for, you know, tactical stabbing. But other than that, they don't really function very well, and this has a much better functionality than most other tantos that I own. So prior to getting it, I was on the fence on how is this tanto really going to perform? Is it just going to basically be designed for stabbing and prying? It is absolutely not. It is well exceeded my expectations for general EDC, but also strength and durability in those harder utilitarian tasks. Now the pocket clip is tip up, ambidextrous, and it's one of the mini pocket clips that Benchmade does. And because it's just mini, it causes less ergonomic issues and just fits well with the overall low profile design. Got the famous axis lock, dual thumb studs. Thank you, Benchmade. It drives me nuts. Modern. Two knives here that I have that we'll talk about just briefly only have thumb studs on one side. So annoying. Particularly for an ambidextrous, you know, crossbar lock. So smooth. I mean, it just flies open and close. Really, really good. Bronze washers that this rides on, which I prefer, particularly for this style of like outdoor hard use, you know, type of a knife. Tactical, you know, you're just going to be using it harder more than likely, and so I love it, and it's so smooth. You do have just a slight play side to side, really nice and solid up and down. That's basically stereotypical of most Benchmade lockups. Good solid stop bar right in there, so I mean, really good, well housed. Now obviously because it's the low profile stuff, that crossbar lock right there, the axis lock pillars are really flush with the scales. So I didn't seem to have too much of an issue engaging and disengaging the tool with gloves on. But if you maybe have really low dexterity, heavy leather or work gloves, you may find some issues trying to purchase the axis lock because of, again, the idea of it being, you know, nice and low profile and slim. Then we have this real nice top guard here, kind of flares out, a little bit of jimp. That's basically recessed, so your meat of your finger will grab it, but it's not sharp. So thankful for that. Nice, good texturing on those scales. I love the it almost looks like a diamond, you know, like a toolbox a little bit. So it gives you just that little bit of texture, and because it's aluminum, it feels good, and it's dense. You know, there's that density to it, which is excellent. So I really like that aspect. It fills out, again, my hand very nicely. Doesn't feel overly slim for general EDC and general use, really able to grip it. But then if I did have to use it in a self-defense role, I have a lot of tactile points to grab onto. Flow through construction. And that brings us to the back here. Now, this is the one thing that's kind of funny. This is a metal back spacer. Right there, there is a nice big gap for laying your hole. You could do some non-lethal strikes. This came with a carbide glass breaker, and within a day, it actually like disconnected itself. I believe they screw in. Yeah, I believe I see threading in there. It fell out and I lost it. But it was kind of, I don't see a need for it for me, so I didn't need it, and I would have tried to remove it anyway. But keep an eye on it if you really do like it. Maybe, you know, take it out and blue Loctite it, just from my own personal experience. And with some of the new color combinations that are being released, I believe some of them do not have the glass breaker on there. Everything else is the same, but they've just removed the glass breaker. So that's my knowledge from what I am aware of. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's the case. But some people may really enjoy and like that added feature. I know some people found it as kind of like an abrupt point that was scratching them when they were trying to deploy it, when they were trying to pull it out of their pocket. So I prefer it without. That's my preference, and you can take it out if you need to. Now, what about pricing? I will have links in the description box below over to Bladehq, GPKnives, Smoky Mountain Knife Works, all the regular distributors that I regularly partner with. So if this model, competitive options, or just blade or gear choices in general make sense for you, I always appreciate it when you use those hyperlinks provided below. Normal going rate, $270. So that's definitely investment. You can kind of understand why it took me several years to finally pick it up, and thankfully I was able to score it on sale. Now, having owned it, I will answer this first before I run into some competitive options. And to kind of answer that, like, was it worth the wait? 100%. 100% it was worth the wait. I love it. I regularly EDC it now. It has the strength that I look for, but how light and slim it is it's deceptively capable and deceptively light. So if I lost this today and I had to go buy another one at $270, would I do it? 100% I would. I'd probably just try out one of the different newer color combinations. I believe there's like a navy handle with some sort of blade color coming out. That one looks super sick to me. That is probably what I would do. But yes, I would 100%, if this like was stolen, I would buy another one immediately. Because of how much I use it and how just fun it is. But that's not to say that there aren't other amazing options now. I'm going to give an example here of the A&V Knives A100. Now, this has a polymer handle, very similar kind of feel to the Bug Out or the 3V version of the BAILOUT. Very similar size, right there for you. 2.5 ounces. You know, the handles, again, because they're like FR and they flex and stuff. Ambidextrous, crossbar, goofy thumb stud. Magna cut, yo, about $210. So for 60 bucks less, made in the Czech Republic, you know, the action is nowhere near as smooth. I just released it and it ain't coming down. There we go. You got to really like play with it because it's got Teflon bushing. So there's definitely like more quality behind overall the Bug Out and just all of its materials and form and function. But if you're looking for like steel composition, that Magna Cut it's basically like the best of both worlds. You're getting all this capability that the M4 steel has, but it's corrosion resistant, which is awesome. So just food for thought, things to consider. And then just more for like sizing, just to give you another idea. Here's the Gerber Savvy with 20 CV steel. I would argue M4, if you don't mind the carbon content, will get scary sharp quicker and be able to get a scary edge on it easier than 20 CV. 200 bucks, aluminum handles, you know, ambidextrous, crossbar, very similar kind of size. More like an Osborne though, to be honest with you. It's more like a 940 Osborne from my experience. But just wanted to kind of run in similar profile, similar kind of size, just giving you what's out there. So I mean, you're mainly paying for that M4 steel, and then obviously just the fit and finish that you get on a Benchmade. So I look forward to hearing from you guys. It was worth the wait. I regret having waited, and I look forward to hearing from you. If you own one, how has been your experience with it? Do you like it? Do you not? And just your overall feeling on the BAILOUT. Do you like that idea? Has this video been helpful for you? I sure hope so, and I hope that it's giving you the information and data that you're looking for and entertain you along the way, all you knife addicts and knife lovers out there. I do invite you to check out the other video popping up, to subscribe if you haven't yet, and until next time, always remember, stay equipped, stay prepared, and I'll see you out there.